Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with week 2 action of the ZGG Gold Division. Tonight we have a good matchup for you. Imperial Ignis coming up against the Kanto Challengers. We are about to get into the pro draft here. I am Rhino, joined again by my color caster Django. Django, talk to me a little bit about the matchup we have for everybody tonight.
I mean, the matchup itself, I am really, really hoping for an exciting matchup. Not only are both of these teams pretty similar in power levels, considering our preseason rankings, they're both coming off a win week one, and we have a slight rivalry behind the scenes as Imperial Ignis and Kanto Challengers. Imperial Ignis are obviously made up of Imperial players, but Kanto Challengers is an off split. Indigo, Seals, and King Kaiser, he had a name change. I believe that was Wolf something. But King Kaiser, those three players used to be part of the Imperial lineup. They were pretty mainstays for a little while, and now with a couple people on the Imperial Ignis squad dropping down from the Plat division, not meeting the requirements and not doing the hottest up there. They are back down in gold, kicked out a couple of the members, and now I'm sure Kanto Challengers are looking for a little bit of revenge.
Definitely an interesting storyline to keep an eye on. We are into picks and bans, and Malphite is the first one coming out from Imperial Ignis. It's a good counter to the Quinn that Actual Bird has been playing a whole lot of. So I think that's
Oh.
probably the reason for that ban. Aatrox and Kane removed from Kanto, followed up by the Azir and Kaisa coming out of Imperial Ignis.
Sybil in the chat is telling me here that Wolf was benched, whether tonight or permanently, I'm not sure, but King Kaiser is a different player, so my mistake on that one. Just going to correct that real quick as we finish off the bans. And unfortunately,
Viego is not
Andrew,
an eligible pick this
that
first
is
week, is it
also
not?
very unfortunate.
Yeah, I know that's been practiced a lot, but usually picks are disabled for the first couple weeks. So it is my not
I
understanding that Diego is not eligible. Um, so I
hmm.
think we will probably be having to restart draft here. I will double check the league announcements to make sure that is indeed the case. Uh,
Yeah, I am not 100% sure on that one. Okay.
okay,
All right, so
never
Viego will
mind.
be
We will see our
available.
first Diego. That's pretty cool.
Okay. Very interesting. Obviously, where and who's going to play this, what kind of build they're going to go for. There's a lot to talk about with a new character coming out, but I'm a little bit skeptical. We'll have to see how people pilot it. I have been on the opinion that Viego's a little bit on the weaker side as far as champion releases go, but you always have that surprise factor of everybody's banning it out in ranked because they don't want to see it. Maybe Kanto challengers aren't prepared for the pick and you can get away with certain things. We'll have to see who pilots it and how effectively, but the rest of the pick and bans are happening as we talk. Seraphine Ezreal locked in for Kanto's challengers. Extremely long range bot lane. Not a duo we normally see paired up, but that just screams a bunch of safety to me. Ashe matching the range is quite a nice pickup. Rel, however, strikes me as a bit awkward because I've been seeing her more used as a counter engage type champion.
Yeah, the Seraphine is definitely still flexible between support
True.
and mid potentially. I don't see it in Trajan's Mass History, so no guarantee that it is. I would expect it to go support, especially with the Aurelia picked up, which is definitely one of his favorites. So I do expect that to be going mid, which I believe pushes Seraphine to the bot lane. Nothing is secure. The Ezreal Seraphine is an interesting choice. I know a lot of people have been pairing Seraphine with Ashe because the freeze slows allow Seraphine's E to automatically root, which is really nice. It's a fairly oppressive long range poke lane. Ezreal Seraphine can do the similar things, but not exactly the same. And we do see some top bans coming through as we get to the second half of the draft. Pantheon and Darius already taken off the board.
Absolutely. What's surprising to me is that not too many junglers have been hit. In my opinion, jungle is one of the strongest rules right now, and Phoenix Fire and Seals are no slouches in the position. Phoenix Fire, especially, a big veteran name that a lot of people are going to recognize. So surprising not to see too many more bans thrown his way. We'll have to see what they want to pick up here. Draft just seems like a lot of comfort picks rather than meta picks right now. So I'm wondering if there's something about these teams they've been working behind the scenes, just really comfortable with what they're playing, because this is not how a draft normally plays out here in the Gold League. So I'm excited but hesitant at the same time.
That describes my feeling on a lot of these games, to be perfectly honest. We do see Nico coming out. Olaf is a good meta jungler that is taken off the board here as well. Pairs decently well with the Aurelia. I'm interested to see what Kanto does here. A blind pick Kale in the top lane coming out for Indigo. That is surprising to me.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. The Viego's a bit of a flex here. Again, personal opinions, champion's very new. No one knows what's best. Certainly not myself. I think Viego is much more of a top laner. And this is outside of the Ashe, a very short range composition that Imperial Ignis is drafting. And Kanto Challengers have a lot of range with the Ezreal, with the Seraphine. We're gonna have to see a bit of almost snap engage. We have the Ashe, we have a little bit of the Diana, but not a great ton of team fight engaged capability. Sejuani will be locked in to fill that gap, however. Imperial Ignis have an interesting composition. I like the Sejuani paired with three melee champions. It definitely helps out that flaw in their team composition. Overall, a really nice B5 pick from Imperial.
Yeah, and I think Kanto caught on to something a little sooner than we did. Sybil, sorry, not Sybil any longer. Actual Bird is the only one who's played Viego on the side of Imperial, so they figured out that that was going top. Viego is a scaling pick, and he doesn't have a super good early game. So Kale being able to kind of work her way through those early levels without being under intense kill threat is really nice for that champion. And then the extra range advantage, as long as she can dodge the stun out from Viego, she should have a decently easy laning phase. Viego is a very squishy top laner. I'm interested to see the rune choices from Viego. I'm sorry, from Actual Bird. I have seen him run Grasp before, which I don't think would be terrible early on in this matchup. A lot of people like to run Conqueror because it scales really nicely with his healing later on into the game. So we'll have to see what he chooses to go there.
Yeah, most definitely. A lot of notice on that. I'm really curious. The Viego doesn't have a ton of gank setup. The W is a little bit hard to land. You have to charge it up for a while. Pretty easily flashed away from. But the Sejuani always makes melee L2v2s very, very dangerous in the early game. Kale not getting range till 6 could be something that we need to watch out for. However, level 6 seems to be the name of the game for a lot of people here. Or a lot of champions, I should say. Kale getting the range, Skarner access to the ultimate, Diana access to the ultimate, Ashe access to the ultimate. There's a lot of things that come in around the level 6 mark. So I really think that the team that strikes hard first might just steamroll this game with how close these two teams appear to be.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. So we had the Aurelia blinded mid answered by the Diana from Azure X Fire. That Kindred ban, by the way, is actually a Kindred mid ban targeted at Azure X Fire, who has played very, very well on their picks over the last several seasons, both in gold and platinum leagues. Diana is a new favorite, so not surprising to see this come out as an answer. We have two melee assassins in the mid lane. Talk to me a little bit about that. Do we think jungler intervention is going to be needed in that matchup?
It's hard to say. I mean, the Diana generally will have wave push just because of the passive and the Q being a bit more automatic, but the Irelia I feel is favored in duels. But the Irelia, I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, Irelia Diana is not a matchup I get to cast very often. If I had to wager guesses, the Irelia stun is going to be very important in pre-6 skirmishes, and jungler interventions will more than likely not happen 2v2. I really only see these junglers becoming part of the interactions once one lane has decided to push up to the tower, because Sejuani and Skarn are both pre-6 are going to have to burn a lot to get onto anybody, really. Skarner, I'm curious if he'll elect for the Ghost or the Flash. Generally, I like the Ghost here better because there's not a lot of champions on the enemy team that can hop over walls and escape him that way. So having the Ghost for the increased movement speed should be the way he goes, but we'll have to see. There's a lot of choices that we get to break down once we get into game here.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I feel like there are a a cacophony of different summoner spells and rune choices that is really going to shape how this game plays out. Overall, these are two very farm to six junglers before they start ganking. So I'm really curious to see how these lanes end up going without jungler intervention, which is what I would expect to see early on, as both of the junglers are hard farming. Viego Kale feels like it could be very explosive. Diana Aurelia, I feel like, could be very explosive, and the bot lane is going to be hard to gank for both sides no matter what.
Definitely agree with all those points. The bot lane for me is going to be a really weird contention point because I feel like Ashe outlanes Ezreal pretty hard, but I also feel the Seraphine outlanes the Rel extremely hard. And we're gonna pretty much have to see, Bunny of Love versus Cleo, which is not often what we see. A lot of the times it's two 80 carries in their positioning or two supports and who gets the better trades off. It's very rare that we see the 80 carry having the what's the word, agency in the lane on one side and the support on the other. So interesting matchup down in the bot lane and volatile solo lanes. We'll have to see if either of these junglers start off on fire or just farm to six. Like you said, those ultimates are extremely impactful.
Yeah, those are going to be huge. I'm not entirely sure I like the Skarner pick here. Viego has a good way of getting away from it, and I don't know that he has the ability to get onto a whole lot of other super good champions. It is a strong tank jungler. It can farm very quickly, but I'm curious to see how that performs in team fights. It doesn't feel like there's, other than the Ashe, which I feel like if Ashe has very, very good self peel from a Skarner. Other than that, there's not really an easy target. So we'll have to see how the QSS tax comes through for the side of Imperial as well.
One thing I'm really curious watching Viego enter pro play, enter amateur play, and see how things go. I'm wondering if it will have a little bit of a Silas effect where when you see a Silas picked in a draft, you kind of stay away from certain ultimates that you want to give over to him. When you look at Kanto challengers, a lot of their champions rely on their ultimates for the rest of their kits to be successful, and part of me wonders if that's going to matter towards the Viego. Part of me wonders if it's intentional or just happenstance. But looking at these champions, there doesn't seem to be like a key target that like Viego wants to burst out easily and then get into that, you know, form. I'm not sure what we want to spirits, I believe is the technical term.
That's a good question. Let's see what what they say for his passive. They call it whenever an enemy champion is killed by Viego or dies, a Mistwraith spawns. You can basic attack a Mistwraith to possess it.
Okay.
So I guess they're Mistwraiths.
Alright, wraiths. Interesting.
Not
Trying
100%
to
sure on that
keep
one.
that one on the forefront here. Oh boy, this is a fantastic matchup going into it here. Imperial, Ignis, Kanto challengers, two teams that we expect to be fighting for the playoff spots in their division, both coming off a win week one. They will fight each other one more time before playoffs is concluded, but getting that first win, starting off 2-0, and a little bit of the background rivalry, we are gearing up for a fantastic series.
I agree, and we're just now loading into game. We do see Viego has gone for the Conqueror uh, in the top side there. The Kale has gone for Press the Attack, so not a very defensive rune setup there. We have Electrocute on the Diana in the mid lane, which I think is pretty unusual. I was under the impression Conqueror, especially into another Conqueror user, is probably your better choice. Ashe is running Press the Attack, which I think is unusual. But everything else feels fairly standard, other than Skarner running Phase Rush, which I mean, it's a mix between Phase Rush and Aftershock, but both are very viable.
Yep. Did go the ghost on the Skarner, so correctly predicted that one there. And if I had to wager a bet on the Electrocute from Azure, I'd guess while the Conqueror is nice for the lane, that's pretty much all it's good for because he's going to have a hard time sticking on top of things like Ezreal or Kale. Might be preferring the added burst from Electrocute to try and one shot one of those targets. I agree with you. Conquer's probably the way to go for the lane phase into another melee Conquer user, but we'll have to see if the Electrocute pays dividends in roams or in later team fights.
And we are on to the Rift. On the blue side, we have Imperial Ignis, Actual Bird in the top lane, IMPL Phoenix Fire playing Sejuani in the jungle, Azure X Fire in the mid lane, Bunny of Love on AD carry, and Rin playing Rel support.
And on the red side, it will be Kanto challengers Indigo in the top lane, Seals jungling, Trajan mid lane, King Kaiser AD carry, and Cleo. Oh, I meant to ask if that is how they pronounce it, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it, and I will try my best to remember in between games. But Cleo for now on the support.
And we do actually see an early back, not from the jungler, but from the mid laner, as Azure X Fire places down an early yellow trinket and then backs for a red trinket. We also, so that is kind of surprising for me. The opposite was done. Seals go ahead and getting that early red trinket. And it looks like we may have a late invaded the soul lanes as Aurelia moves to kind of see if Viego maybe takes a dangerous route back to lane, but it looks like things are going to start fairly standard. Junglers are going to start on opposite sides of the map, pardon me, as both take their red buff to begin with.
Yes, I'm going to quickly pan my camera up because I am not casting or broadcasting, I should say. So both spires are under blue control, or at least neutral by the looks of things. So red team not going to capture either of those spires, could be because they don't want to give away where they started. You can see red side's faking a leash, so Indigo didn't use mana either, meaning that blue side doesn't know where Skarner starts until, or possibly if he shows on this ward. If he hugs the bush wall, no, okay, he went over to the
Nope.
other side, so the ward will spot him out immediately as he goes past that. And now Imperial will have knowledge of where that jungler is. Level 2s for the mid laner. Stun gonna come.
Oh, here he goes. He's ganking onto Jurex Fire. Good flash away from the Skarner. He is going to get the Diana out to safety. A very early gank path, and is able to blow himself a summoner spell in the mid lane for his trouble.
Yeah, you can see Sejuani actually altered the pathing. Seeing the Skarner walk down, did go ahead and go straight to the blue buff. A little bit more fighting in the mid lane. Ignite.
A lot of damage down. Trajan forced a flash. Is still ignited, taking damage from minions, and first blood goes over to Azure X Fire. Blows his flash in the gank. Doesn't matter. Gets both summoners in response from the enemy mid laner, and with a bigger wave is able to win out on that trade, get himself first blood.
What I thought was a quick trade was actually two mid laners fighting to the death, and it's going to be Azure X Fire picking up that first blood solo kill, even after having the early visit from Seals. So that's going to feel really good for Imperial and Azure X in particular. What I wanted to say, oh, actually, before I say too much, I do note Sejuani is looking for a lane gank up top side. We're going to keep our eyes on the minimap there in case we quickly pan up. But the point being made was Sejuani went straight buff to buff, and I imagine she altered her pathing due to seeing the Skarner on the ward, but Skarner wasn't going for
Here
an
we
invade
go.
as
Face checks
Phoenix
the
is
bush.
going.
Immediately finds the Sejuani. The stun comes down. Is locked up. The flash comes out though. Viego has the E, but isn't able to finish off Indigo, and the flash is going to get Kale to safety. So a nice play. It was a good gank coming out in the top side, able to burn the summoner, but not able to actually get a kill there. Trajan now searching for something in the mid lane, does land the stun, but fails the Q. Here goes Rel diving in with the Ferromancy, but misses everything afterwards. Is able to walk herself out without taking too much poke in return. So not a terrible trade in the bot side, but not much going on in this bot lane. The CS seems pretty even as both lanes content to just farm it out.
Absolutely. Bunny of Love and Rin not taking too much poke as I thought they were going to from this lane. No Dorn Shield start either, although pots are definitely in the advantage of the
Here comes the
Kanto.
dive. Topside Indigo gets hit by the dash from the Sejuani. Is going to go down under turret as another kill goes over to Imperial in the top lane. This Kale not having a very good time. Skarner in the area, but not able to defend from that gank. Another kill over to Imperial.
Yeah, Phoenix Fire really taking advantage of that topside melee form pre-6. Blows the flash and then immediately comes back after taking Scuttle Crab for the dive. And that means Actual Bird is going to be on a 3-wave lead here going into this. I just... I noticed at the end of that play, by the way, so it doesn't confuse you, hopefully. When Viego takes someone, he gets their champion portrait on the mini-map
Yes, he
as
does.
well. That was really confusing to me, because I saw Kale dead, but Kale was also on the map.
It
Not
will show you.
exactly
It'll
how that
also show
works.
as a kill for Kale. When if he gets a kill in somebody's stolen form, it comes through
Oh
as the
no.
picture of that champion. So yeah, we get to have fun with that. Hopefully, it affects me more than you.
I
So
wonder
I
if
can
that's a
get it wrong.
choice or they just can't like code that well around it.
I'm
That's an
not sure.
interesting because I don't like that, but maybe that's a choice that they
I
wanted
don't think it is. Knowing
to
Riot Spaghetti
flare
Co's
that.
not. Dragon is going to be taken early by Imperial. Actual Bird going to get aggressive onto Kale. Is going to miss with the W, but still take the Blade of the Ruin King Q. Still doing a lot of work for the Viego in the top side. Is a full level up. Has the level 6. The Heartbreaker ultimate will be coming out shortly, or can be. Kale hasn't hit her ultimate by the time he gets the chance to use that. Could be bad. Skarner is now showing bot side. Poke comes out from Ezreal. There's the double root from Seraphine, but not going to be enough, and Encore is not available. So not going to be anything happening yet. As Viego continues to exert his dominance on the top side. There's level 6 for Indigo. Is able to dodge away from the W. There's the Heartseeker coming in. The ultimate comes out from Indigo just in time, but he's still in very much danger here. Actual Bird with the flash available could potentially go for something, but Kale's going to be wise and back off. Did have to burn the ultimate and does not have teleport, so is going to lose even more on this top half of the map.
Yeah, no teleport, no flash. Would love to pick up those minions, but it is far too risky with the opposition having that summoners, or both of those summoner spells available. Actually, now the Viego's going to get off to a fantastic lead. Do see the Iron Spike Whip coming out for the Viego. Interesting to see if that goes full Gore Drinker. I'm not actually sure, as I'm sure you can tell me if that goes into anything else.
Strybreaker, which I would expect
Okay.
to be the build here. It's an interesting one. I feel like rushing Blade of the Ruin King is actually the best item on Viego right now. In my limited experience playing as him, I do think that's a very strong rush for him. The extra percent max health damage that you do in addition to his Q with that item is very strong, as it is also very good first pick on Aurelia and a few other champions. So looks like I would expect it could be Gore Drinker into a ranged, a now ranged matchup. I would expect it to be the Strybreaker for the slow
Yes.
and the ability to stick. Root does come out from Cleo. It's not going to land any lasting damage though. And it looks like they are going to be able to back away. Ezreal, the bot lane has been very, very even in terms of CS. Ezreal just stacking up his tier. And I think you're pretty happy with this lane as Ezreal, as you do outscale the Ashe, especially right now. So we'll have to see what goes on with this bot lane. So far, all the action has been on the top half of the map. And I hadn't noticed the CS difference in the mid lane ever since that first blood went over to Azure X Fire. It has been all Aurelia. Is up almost 30 CS. Actual Bird going in, does land the stun. Heartbreaker's available, throws the E. Indigo running away, but here comes the Sejuani Arctic Assault in, and Actual Bird gets the kill. Doesn't even have to use the ultimate, and is going to pick up that Kale body and push the wave in. Another kill goes over to the Viego, and now it looks like he's going to give his jungler priority to begin Rift Herald.
Absolutely not. Indigo getting shut down again. I believe the flash wasn't quite up, and if it was, probably assumed they were dead to rights. Wanted to save that one for another time. Sybil, or rather Actual Bird, off to a fantastic start on this new champion, really showing that he has put in a couple games, but fight the mid lane.
Double flash. The ultimate comes out from Trajan, has the Q, and the fully stacked passive is going to back away as both the support shows up from the bot lane along with the mid laner, the jungler and Seals. Pardon me. Looks like they are going to be able to get themselves out. Indigo coming back to the top side is down almost double CS in this matchup. This is really rough. Unfortunately, he does have scaling on his side, but I haven't seen enough to Viego to know how hard he scales. I guess I'm understanding it's decently well, probably not to the level of the Kale, but still.
Can't imagine it is that of a KO, but like you said, I think Viego, we'll have to see what
There's the
build goes
Pheromancy,
for.
followed up immediately by the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Encore comes out. The Ashe is charmed. Are they able to get away? There's the flash from Cleo and the exhaust, but it's not enough. Rin, using the Magnet Storm, is able to finish off the kill, and that is a 2v2 kill. Going back in again, does get the stun along with the follow-up. Indigo, meanwhile, being chased down on the top side. Ezreal forced to flash and cleanse in the bot lane, and it just seems like everything is going Imperial's way all over the map.
Absolutely does seem that way, and now Rift Herald on the top side could finish off this tower if they want to go ahead and grab it. Trajan's up here, but I'm not sure
So
Gonna
is
need to call
Seals.
the
It's going to be a
jungler over.
2v2. There's the stun. Does manage to land, but no ultimate is available. The Vanguard's edge is gone. Arctic Assault lands. Trajan trying to absorb as much damage as possible with the Heartseeker. Going to come out and destroy him, and the stun is still available. He is the Aurelia now. Seals in trouble. There's the execute from the Blade Surge. And a double kill going over to the top laner. Actual Bird just completely wrecking the top side of the map right now.
Yeah, Actual Bird doing some fantastic work on this pick, and they might take this entire tower without the need to drop the Rift Herald. That would be a massive, massive lead for this team comp right now. And there it is, the whole tower goes down. Viego only sharing a couple of those plates with the Sejuani. Rift Herald still in the Sejuani's pocket. Stun not gonna land. Indigo, you can see he can return damage here. But he's going to need to get a couple more items under his belt before he can really threaten Actual Bird with anything. Has been doubled up in the CS currently. Will pick up a little bit here, so he's not quite that far down. But solo lane for top lane for Kanto not going that great. And unfortunately, mid lane, while there is a good CS discrepancy, Trajan has gone down twice now. That's not stopping Kanto as they look for the dragon here.
This is a good use of agency, I suppose. The bot lane for Imperial took a back. Being able to sneak a dragon in a game where you're down 6 kills to 0 is huge for the side of Kanto. If they want a chance to get back into this game, I think Dragon Soul, especially an Infernal Soul, is going to be pivotal for that.
Absolutely, and like you said, the scaling is on their side, so any dragons they can sneak away is just 5 more minutes that they get to add to this ticking time bomb that is still in the top lane. We'll have to see if Indigo... Oh, Steel
was he trying to
almost
steal
came
the red
out.
buff? Is that
It
actually what he
almost
was
came
doing?
out.
It was
I'm not I assume he saw Sejuani walk to it, as there's a pink ward sneakily put in that brush above the red buff. Trajan...
In trouble, does get stunned down, and there's the Sejuani coming in, misses with the Glacial Prison, doesn't matter, is able to get an assist on the kill. There's another cleanup, 7-0 now in Imperial's favor. Gold lead is about 5k for them as well. Indigo is just not having a good time on the top half of the map here at all. And it is actually Goredrinker coming out for Actual Bird in the top side. Uh-oh, DC coming out from Phoenix Fire. There should be a pause here shortly. Nope, it's back. And we should be continuing on with the game as it stands. 5k gold lead already at 13 minutes for Imperial. And yes, there is a scaling component for Kanto, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to deal with that.
It's definitely going to be hard. Rift's about to time out, and there it goes down into the mid lane to grab a couple more plays.
Goes Rin, Ferment's engaged, gets both. Enchanted Crystal Arrow to follow the stun. Cleo is stun locked for so long. The Encore comes out. It's not enough. Rin again able to clean up the kill. And it's just so much damage coming down. True Shot Barrage coming out to not really do any damage. And the mid lane and jungle are rotating over. Phoenix Fire is already here. Uh-oh, Sejuani might be stuck. No, has the Arctic Assault to get over the wall. Never mind, is going to be just fine. It would have been a 2v3 anyway, so I would favor Imperial in that most likely.
Yep, Imperial's looking quite good in this game. I mean, really just all around. The bot lane that I did not think would be going in their favor. Rin has been finding engages onto this long-range bot lane that I didn't think were going to be possible. Cleo and King Kai'Sa just not being able to deal with it right now. And that's not even beginning to talk about the massive lead that's in the top lane.
The Ghost comes out.
Down.
I don't know if they're even going to be able to find him. They can't. Cleo's here too. They commit so many resources trying to find this Viego who just runs away using the Herald Path into the wall. And this just keeps going from bad to worse on the top side of the map.
That's an insane amount of movement speed on that to get away from the Chem Tank and the Ghost that Seals popped. Wasn't able to get in range to spot the Viego there. I'm going to quickly check how much move speed that gives him if you don't know off the top of your head.
25% because he maxes it second. So,
yes.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Okay,
I feel like that still shouldn't be enough to deal with the Ghost, but the Ghost has popped a little bit early, and I think the biggest thing is that the camouflage that it gives. They were just out of range of being able to see him, and they weren't able to actually lock him down. Rel has herself a bounty in the bot lane here, thanks to those early kills. And there is going to be a back here. We don't really have any objectives on the map for a while. Dragon not spawning for a minute and a half. And we will be having Baron, but it's only 15 minutes into the game, which feels pretty ridiculous. The Channel Crystal Arrow mid lane is barely going to land on a Trajan. Immediately, the burst comes down for Azure X Fire and the Sejuani. They're going to pick up yet another kill, this time in the mid side. 0-4 for Trajan, even though he had that CS lead, which is now dissipated down to only about 10. And boy, it's really not looking good for Kanto right now.
No, Kanto's definitely looking like they're getting behind Trajan. You could see him stepping back in that lane, not wanting to contest too much, farming with the W. Did not have the reaction time to go ahead and flash the Enchanted Crystal Arrow that came out. We'll go down to that one. Phoenix Fire has just been living in this topside jungle.
Engage on Seals is going to pull him under the tower with the Impale. And now he's taking a lot of damage. The flash coming out from Phoenix Fire is super low. Meanwhile, in Engage in the bot side, they're going to jump in, but they're going to get charmed under tower. Azure Fire taking a ton of damage. Nobody manages to go down across the map, but ultimates and flashes blown all over the place. Both summons from King Kaisa, as well as Azure X Fire, and Phoenix Fire loses his flash as well.
Absolutely. Looking in the mid lane here is Bird, though.
Trajan able to dance around using that Blade Surge, get himself out of danger. Landing the Flawless Duet was pretty big there, as Actual Bird, having completed the Gore Drinker and working towards the Blade of the Ruined King, is able to use the Harrowed Path, get himself out to safety. Just a very safe ability is that E from Viego. Super, super useful to get yourself out of troublesome situations.
Absolutely, and now it looks like the Imperial aren't even going to go for the dragon. They know their bot lane has priority, and they're just going to use that to hold the dragon not being taken by either side. ECR comes out.
Going to land. The flash forward from Rin, and Bunny of Love is going to pick herself up a kill himself. Ashe gets a kill in the bottom lane. Finally, as Rin taken the first two thanks to the charm coming out of Seraphine. Now, Irelia finds herself in kind of a tricky situation. Dragon has just spawned, and it looks like Imperial have their eyes set on it as they should. With full control in the mid and bot lane, there's no reason why this Dragon shouldn't go over to them.
Yeah, we've ballooned to an almost 8k gold lead at 18 minutes, which is absolutely massive right now. Oh, Imperial can just take whatever they want on the map, but we do need to make sure they're doing it cleanly and, keeping on top, being very diligent, not getting caught out, because we can't ignore the scaling. Seals also can't ignore the
nice use of the stun from Rin. The CC lock is huge, and Seals is going to go down. Bunny of Love picking up another. There's the Heartbreaker. Is going to pick up Actual Bird. Actual Bird's going to pick up Indigo, in the top side. Once again, another solo kill. And boy, this is... It feels like it's all over but the crying at this point. Baron isn't even on the map for another 2 minutes, and they're threatening an inhibitor tower.
Yeah, most definitely. Imperial would like to take the tower here, but it is to note that taking inhib here could be a little bit risky. It does push a lot of gold and XP directly into Kanto's waiting arms. They're not going to overextend for that one, though. Actual Bird just going to grab the tower on the top side, and Imperial are doing so well right now. 10,000 gold lead. It was just 8,000 a moment ago. 3-level lead for the Viego.
Too far forward, gets flashed on, and that's a beautiful ultimate from Azure X Fire. Going to clean up 2 more in the mid lane. I was just going to compliment Phoenix Fire on the way he was playing around the top side. There comes the ultimate out, now in trouble. Arctic Assault's already come out for Phoenix Fire. Stun could come through. They're going to try to get themselves a kill. The stun comes on to Seals, though, who is just not tanky enough right now. Does use the Impale, but it doesn't matter. It's onto the tank, who had still had Aftershock available. So far, it is a absolutely perfect game coming out from Imperial. 15-0, no lost turrets. Sorry, it's not. They lost a dragon. So that does keep the perfect game from coming through, but I'm afraid that's little consolation at this point for Kanto.
Absolutely, they're not going to feel too good about only that one dragon. They do have scaling, they do have super minions pushing that golden experience to them, but it's only taking an... because everybody likes to talk about this, but the inhib going down so early is sometimes talked about being a bad thing because of pushing golden experience directly into the base of Kanto's in this specific case. But right now, Imperial are so far ahead that they can use that pressure. They can threaten a 20-minute Baron, and they can actually just blow this game wide open in the next 5 minutes, less than that realistically. Baron, maybe if they feel like waiting for another Infernal Drake to put under their belt, but they really don't need much more than a Baron to end the game right now.
Yeah, I would be shocked if we get to the point where they actually get an Infernal Soul, because that would require it being another 7-minute long game, and there would have to be some very bad things to go wrong for Imperial in order for that to happen. There's a bunch of bases happening right now. Viego is split pushing with the teleport available. Enchanted Crystal Arrow going to catch out onto Seals. They get the stun lock. That's a beautiful encore onto 3 men, but it doesn't matter. Seals gets picked. That is almost guaranteed going to be the Baron for Imperial if they wish to turn for it. They haven't chosen to do so yet, are clearing out the vision instead. Looks like Diana's in position, just waiting for her tanks to show up.
Absolutely. Cleo trying to keep their jungler alive, but just to no avail. Seals will go down. That will signal the Barons start coming out of Imperial, and they're looking to run away with this first game.
Trajan going for the solo kill, but he's just way too far behind. That's a great flash away from the Heartbreaker. Actual Bird, though, is too far ahead. I really like the way Trajan played that. It was so close to an outplay, and it just wasn't quite enough. Instead, Actual Bird going to pick himself up another kill. 5-0-1. Has the completed 2 items plus the boots. Is going to take this turret. Meanwhile, his team takes Baron for free. 17-0. Another turret going down. More and more in favor of Imperial.
Absolutely, and as long as you're a spectator, not so much if you're a player, but as long as you're a spectator, that's why I love watching champions like Irelia and Akali. 1 item to 2, what is it, 3 levels down, and Trajan made that fight look so unbelievably close. Almost had the outplay under tower there, but not quite going to happen. Was trying to get that shutdown into his pockets, but it just wasn't possible. King Kai'Sa now running away from the beast that is Actual Bird on this Viego. Baron buff up, forcing a flash. Imperial
Oh, here
not
comes the
messing
Magnus
around.
Storm. They're pulling in lots of them. The Jurex Fire flashes in as well. Is going to get stunned up with the Impaled. Hold on her tower. Dashes back to the Seraphine. Is going to just pull him out. Yeah, there's another kill going down. Bunny of Love is now unstoppable. I do feel like this Ashe has been good. Just getting fed kills. There's the Heartbreaker again. Actual Bird just dancing around these fights, picking up Mist Wraiths and destroying them. 19-0. And I imagine that this is the end of the game here. There's still only 12 seconds. The death timers aren't too long, but there's no ultimates available on the champions coming up. There goes Relody. Another engage with the Ferromancy. Another cleanup. Another pickup of a Rift Soul. Imperial with a kill score of 21-0. Absolutely annihilate Kanto.
Nearly perfect game coming out from Imperial. 2-0 last weekend, and they are not looking to stop. The ball continues to roll for this team that looks so hot at the beginning of our ZGG Gold split.
Yeah,
Absolutely massive performance.
yeah. There's really not a whole lot to say. Like, that was pretty much a domination from start to finish. Every lane. Quick shout out to Phoenix Fire for the way he played around that super far pushed up top laner. He was shadowing underneath so that there was no way that Kanto could ever gank the pushed up laner and get that shutdown, which is really a way that you can stop split pushers from destroying your team. But Imperial, like, they basically played a flawless game. They had 1 minor lapse where they gave up that dragon. That is it. And I don't even know if you can count that. Like, just unbelievable play coming out from the squad.
Yeah, Imperial 100% smashed game 1. And I'm really curious to, how Kanto's feeling, because it looked like they were picking up, comfort picks rather than going for a full meta or a really cohesive team composition. And it just fell apart from start to finish. The bot lane that should have had, in my opinion, should have had push and prio got really behind to this rel just straight engages, not even counter engages. Mid lane, 2 melee champions with Ignite didn't go in their favor. Top lane got absolutely demolished thanks to Phoenix Fire on that Sejuani, and it was just clinical from start to finish. I do apologize for interrupting you there at the beginning. I looked to my right and you were taking a drink of water, but it was the stream, so it was on delay. I thought I had to cover for you. That was
Oh
not the
man.
case.
Still feeling it out. That is fine. Yeah, I can't look at myself on camera, so I refuse to have the
You're
stream
fine.
open. Alrighty, that's game 1 in the books. Pretty easy victory for Imperial. We will have to see if some adaptations can be made so Kanto can get themselves back into this one. I expect the Viego to be gone. And we'll have to see. Sybil is always, I'm sorry, Actual Bird has always been a fan of pulling out unorthodox picks in the top lane. So I'll have to see what else he's been practicing. But we will return with game two in just a moment.
When feels like calm and wind stands still, run home, run home. As the crows make night of the fading sun, hide now, hide now. The cheeks do bow as if they weep. Stay down, stay down. Though its light beckons forth, a melody calls out. Too late, too late.
Alrighty, folks, we are back in with the beginning of game two. We should be getting into the pick ban phase in a moment, as soon as we have a couple of the captains figuring out their draft issues. We're using a new soft. For those of you who aren't familiar, we are using a new system this year. It's not pro draft; it's draft law, which I do think overall is a better system, but it is a little bit confusing for some people who are using it for the first time. So not a huge issue. We will be getting into draft shortly. I fully expect Viego to be banned. I would expect we probably still see the Kindred and the Kane banned out, but we'll see how hard they want to try to hit Actual Bird in the top side after his carry performance from last game.
Absolutely, and sides will not get flipped here, so Imperial Ignis still on the blue side will have that first pick available to them. Kanto challengers remaining on the red side. We'll have to see what comes of that because I wasn't overly impressed with the what you say, R5 of the Skarner pick, I believe it was. It felt
Yeah.
like early pathing led to him being not very effective. Mid lane kind of spiraled out of control before he got the chance to visit it. Top lane, he was on the wrong side of the map due to his top side start. Just felt like Seals had nowhere to go before he finished his first clear. So rough game coming out of him, but this is a team that did go the distance in week one. They're not, this isn't the first game they've lost. They have the mental fortitude. It's not going to all come crashing down. At least we all hope so, so we can get that series that I was looking forward to. Imperial Ignis really showing me that they want to make this one quick, though.
We do immediately see the adaptation coming out from Kanto. 3 champions that were in the
Wow.
first game now banned away. They've completely foregone the Ashe. I'm surprised by the Ashe ban. I don't think she's particularly powerful in the current meta. Does have the free engage ultimate Imperial Ignis hovering. Kane was one of the bans last game, and it is going to be picked up for Phoenix Fire. I was very impressed with how he played the Sejuani in the first game. So to see him get, I would assume, his main champion coming through in the first round seems very good for Imperial.
You thought Phoenix Fire was everywhere at the right place on Sejuani. Wait till he can just walk through walls. Uh, Kane will be all over the map if Phoenix Fire's first game is any precedent. However, Seals like the Sejuani look. He's going to take that one away from himself. And I'm curious if they're still feeling the Seraphine bot lane. It's a very powerful pick. Cleo didn't look fantastic on it, but lane didn't go the way they wanted to. Maybe they weren't sure how to go into the rel. And the Nico they banned away in the second phase is going to get picked here. I have to imagine that's for Trajan, but we could see some flex up possibilities with that champion.
We definitely can. It's more a denial from Azure X Fire than anything else.
True.
I would imagine, who looks like is hovering the Ari right now. Another one of their famous champions. I would expect this to get locked in here. Nope, that it looks like they're just hovering it constantly. They do take the Alistair, who is a fairly good meta support right now. I prefer Alistair as a counter to things like Leona and Rel.
Mhm.
But it feels like they do feel comfortable enough picking it blind for Rin. He played very well on the Rel in the first game, and the Arya is going to get locked in second tier here for Azure X Fire. So we'll have
Yep.
to see what the response is from Kanto. Are they going to go support, or they want to try to prioritize a strong ADC?
I think the Alistar Leona debate is something you can go over. However, if Rin feels more comfortable on the Alistar, that could be the pick because comfortability on the champions can mean a lot here. That showed a big deal on the Rel
Whoa.
into a matchup that wasn't that great for her. And the Yasuo being locked in, I mean, there's still flex capabilities. We can't say for sure where that's going, but my
It's
thought
going
immediately goes
there.
to Trajan. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's definitely a Trajan pick. No question. I'm actually really surprised he chose not to go back to the Aurelia. I know that it ended up being a rough game for him, but he was clearly comfortable on the champion. It pairs with Sejuani super, super well. Yasuo does pretty well too, but they have no other knockups right now for the Yasuo. So a little bit surprising. You see Imperial immediately banning away some of these tank tops that their ultimates can allow Yasuo to ult. The Malphite was already gone. Now comes the Gragas and the Ornn as well. Meanwhile, Kanto is going to ban away the Aatrox and Samira. So they have an idea for themselves here in what ADC they want. I suppose could it be an ADC? I haven't seen it in King Kaisa's play anywhere, I don't believe.
Yeah,
But
we'll have to see. I really expect it to go mid here, but we will figure. We're not figuring out anything. We're really not. Kanto Challengers is making it as hard for us as I'm sure it is for Imperial to figure out where everything is going. Vigar a bit of a double flex, Yasuo a bit of a triple flex, Nico, depending on how far you stretch it, could go support mid and top. We're really gonna have to wait to the end to see where all the marbles fall. Caitlyn is the hover and locked in. A little bit of a weaker AD carry as far as meta is concerned, but have to see how they want to play. I was actually looking for a Lucian, but double 80 carries into the Yasuo is a little bit of an odd pickup. Quinn possibly blind, but I'm sure one of the solo laners is on the board right now, so looks like Actual Bird is fine with the matchup into any of them.
This is just comfort across the board from Imperial. Kane is the most played for Phoenix Fire. Quinn is by far the most played for Actual Bird. Caitlyn is Bunny of Loves. The Ari is debatably the most played for Zerix Fire. He's bounced around to a few different things over the meta, and I expect that to be Vigar ADC, Nico support, Yasuo mid, Shen top
Okay.
for Kanto. So they do
I
have
feel like you have an advantage with the OPGGs up, but
a little bit, maybe.
um uh, if I didn't have any OPGGs, I'd probably be looking at Yasuo top, Nico mid, Vigar Shen bot. That's where my head goes, but
Interesting.
I think there's a lot of ways you can flex these champions around. You like you said though, I think what you said is more than likely knowing of the players that are going to be piloting said champions, but it's a really interesting comp here. Yasuo having no knockups. Sejuani Q? Does Sejuani Q
Yes,
count? Okay,
does
it is a
count.
small knockup right there. Single target though, I don't believe that has any AoE to it, so it'll be a little hard to go on that one. Will be up to Trajan or whoever decides to take the Yasuo, assume Trajan, to provide their own knockups. Meanwhile, Imperial Ignis, really scary looking composition. Alistar Caitlyn, while not the most meta thing we see, is going to be very, very hard to deal with. You can't engage onto the Caitlyn. The Alistar is going to be able to follow up on any time that the Kayn roams down. Ari, Azure X Fire, has a lot of signature champions, I feel like, more than most people. Ari is the one I know them for the most. And Actual Bird had a fantastic game on Viego. Now they're on Quinn, who is, in my personal preference, a much more annoying champion to deal with. And Yasuo currently locked in the top side. Very, very interesting if they're going to
I
go
don't
for
think
that
these
one.
are staying. I don't think these are staying where they're picking them. I think they're going to switch everything around on us still. Because I don't think Yasuo into Quinn is a particularly good matchup for Yasuo, and I also don't think Indigo plays Yasuo.
No.
Oh no, he
Well,
does. He does play Yasuo, so it's possible they could flex the Yasuo into the top lane. That would be a spicy matchup. Yasuo top versus Quinn top. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that in ZGG before.
no, definitely not in ZGG, but I'm really hoping they stay because that makes me look
Yes, it
fantastic.
does. Yes, it does.
But coming into this, okay, so I almost don't want to talk about things until we get the for sure confirmation of where they are going. One thing that we can be pretty sure, Kane versus Sejuani will be the matchup. Phoenix Fire probably going to be running around the map amok until Seals can get to that level 6 because, well, he could go topside here. Oh, they're switching on me. No. I thought I had it. They baited me, Rhino. They
They
baited me.
haven't. The bait is not over. We'll see. Yeah, see, it's flipping all over the place. I don't think it's going to be Vigar top either. Call me a skeptic.
Now the real bait here, it's River Shen Sejuani support.
Actually, you know what? Sejuani top into Quinn, not the worst matchup ever. I have played that matchup before. It's not horrible. You stack armor on Sejuani, and because of your passive, the poke that Quinn wants to deal is not as terrible as it could be. Plus, you just wait until she uses her E, and then you Arctic Assault her, and you can do a lot of damage. But that's a different story. It looks like, wow. I actually thought they were going to stick for a second with what you had said, but it looks like they are going to roll to something a little bit more along the lines of what I was thinking. Double AP bot lane does mean pretty strong AD on the top half of the map.
Yeah, that's kind of where my head was going as well. The Vigar Nico is going to be really easy. If Alistar was smart here, double magic resist in the runes, you can go towards the null magic in the locket first. You can really itemize against this bot lane. Tenacity is going to be another big thing. I'm going to be checking runes on Kayn, Quinn, Caitlyn, seeing if they went into that tenacity tree. The Vigar, Nico, the knockups, the Sejuani, the Shen. Everyone has a ton of CC on Kanto challengers, so that'll be something to look for. And it looks like Kantos have definitely taken a more hands-on approach with their fate in this second game.
Yeah, it's a very I like the way a lot of their pieces fit together, but what I am slightly concerned with is that it does feel like it relies on the lanes to win individually to an extent. Like if Vigar and Yasuo get behind, like they don't have any damage left in this composition. Um, Especially considering Shen's going into Quinn, which means he has to itemize hard defensive early on. So even though Shen does have damage, it's not going to be there early into a matchup like this. And that just concerns me, especially the way we saw Imperial blow open the game so early last time.
Mhm.
It is going to be an uphill trek for Kanto, despite the fact that I do like their draft overall.
Absolutely, and maybe we see Seals pop off a little bit here. Sejuani Shen. I mean, we saw two melees go into the technical range. It wasn't range the first gank, but it was ranged after that. In the matchup last game, and they were able to steamroll that and make sure so the stats were in the melee character's favor. Could see something similar. Sejuani, two melee solo lanes. I see a path to victory for Kanto, but game one has me feeling a little bit rougher than I think their draft actually has me feeling.
Yep, definitely agree with that one. We're going to take a short break here, and we will come back at the beginning of game two. So far, Imperial's up 1-0, sticking with the blue side for game two. It's a very interesting draft from both sides. We'll have to see how this one plays out. Don't go anywhere. Alrighty, folks, we are back into the start of game two here. Imperial versus Kanto. Spicy drafts coming out from both sides. A very strong pivot, I think, from both teams. I don't believe we have a single champion that's the same, other than Sejuani, which flipped teams.
Yep, absolutely. All different champions here. except for what you already spoke about. Now we're gonna be very careful what we talk about. What he actually did a little bit there. Trajan hopefully gonna get a back off here. They're looking for something, but Caitlyn has played this very safely. They're gonna see this coming, and
Oh,
more than likely, oh, sweeper start
I
though.
like that, yeah. And they managed to get that zombie ward out too. Bunny of Love is going to shoot the Q over. They're going to know where they are. No additional wards placed.
Trajan really needs to get a base off. Oh no.
If I'm Indigo, I'm not doing this. I'm not going back to base. I'm walking all the way over there. But they get some really good deep vision down onto the red side of the Sejuani. They're going to know where Seals is for the first few minutes here. Actually looks like they're setting up. Are they just going to steal the red buff away here? They
Quite
very well
possibly.
could. It would be a huge blow because I don't think Seals can invade. Shen moving over to check it. Is he just going to put a ward down or is he going to walk in? Nope, he's going to get jumped on. Immediately forced to start the taunt. Phoenix Fire going to take some damage in response. They're going to clear out the vision there. Overall, though, the Kayn is going to be able to steal away the red buff to start this game. That is very important. We'll see if Seals knows this is happening. So will he actually be able to do something about this? By rotating down. It looks like that's where he's headed. The Yasuo got him early lane priority. Is basing already. I'm not.
He has
Oh,
no
he forgot
item.
to buy items.
He has no items.
My goodness, I didn't even notice that. No items for the Yasuo. It's still able to push the mid wave, by the way. And yeah, so it's been a heck of a start so far. Sejuani is moving in to get the red buff. Shen is forced to kind of play very passively, especially since he had to start taunt this early on into this lane. It's going to be a little bit rough. As we get started here.
Absolutely.
Oh
not.
no. Oh no. Misses the taunt. Yeah, actual bird going to trade back very hard onto him here. Potion forced to go down. Does get the drag through from the sword, but yeah, you can't really miss the taunt on Shen in this matchup or you just get absolutely destroyed. Charm is going to miss, and we do see Trajan getting an early advantage here. Into this matchup against the Ahri. Seals, meanwhile, rotated down. Here comes the top lane gank. Is just going to dodge away. That's a nice taunt. He's going to pull him under tower. Phoenix Fire taking a couple of shots. Indigo going to take a lot of damage. There's the press the attack. He's burning from red buff. Not going to be enough. And another tower shot taken in the attempt. Actual Bird has been the focus from Phoenix Fire so far. It's paying off very strongly with two very good lanes in the first two games here.
Trajan is thanking his stars that Azure was busy clearing a ward level 1 and he was able to get push. Thankfully, he is able to not get too far behind right now, and hopefully we'll get a decent tempo base off. Even though Bunny of Love and Rin are pushing here on the bot side, by the way, they're playing super safe, only walking up when it's absolutely necessary. Another missed taunt. Ooh, does dodge out on the Q though, so it's not as bad as it could be. Trade in the mid lane, but I don't think Trajan will go for anything too spicy without items. Is up a healthy amount of farm. Can be feeling fantastic about that though.
Very good point. He is going to get lit hard. There's the ignite. Trajan's in trouble. He has to go in for the trade. He has nowhere else to go. And the flash from Azure X Fire for essentially no reason. But he will get himself first blood once again. Solo kill in the mid lane. There's the taunt coming out. Actual Bird predicted it and was able to get the E down, but then the interesting interaction between those two is the taunt still goes off if Quinn touches you while you are in the dash animation. So the dash stops, but Quinn will then bounce off and walk back towards you. Arctic Assault comes in as your X-Fire on his side of the map, though. Seal's not able to get anything done with that, and Phoenix Fire, once again in the right place at the right time, just reminding Seal that he cannot do anything in this lane. First Blood is the only goal difference so far, though, is all lanes seem to be doing fairly well in farm.
Absolutely, and while Azurex did blow his flash for nothing, I have to appreciate the play. If the Q was the thing that killed him on the bounce back, it would have looked really cool, but I agree with the fact that it was particularly not the best. Cage isn't going to come out there to CC chain, unfortunately. I held my breath, but just going to get a nice amount of poke. Yeah, possibly. We have been looking down here. King Kai'Sa. Tier start both games, Ezreal and Veigar, so definitely going for a pretty similar playstyle here. As we see, junglers are pretty slow. Kayn seems to just want to farm up and fight where he can. Wants to stay on the top side of the map where these triple melee champions are, though. Have to imagine he's wanting Rust this game, as there's not a lot of games where you don't want Rust. Let's be very honest. It's
There we
currently.
go.
Oh, nice. Very
Good play,
nice from
Indigo.
Indigo.
Actual Bird knows how the trade patterns work, though, is able to get a nice dodge away from the Q from Indigo. That's going to help him out in this lane quite a bit. Quinn's starting to run a little bit low on mana here, which does mean trades can start to go in Shen's favor more as an energy user instead of the mana. Has a better chance. Meanwhile, gank in the mid lane. Trajan is under fire again. He throws out the wind wall. Probably not going to do anything. That's a good flash away. Phoenix Fire flash to follow. There's the Q. Is going to get the kill. Seals is going to get the stun down on Azure X Fire, but he's in trouble now himself. Passive is gone. Phoenix doing a lot of damage. Here comes the Shen ultimate, though. Phoenix Fire now in trouble, and the roam up from the bot lane is huge. There's the flash forward from Indigo. Doesn't have the taunt available. Does land it there, and now Azure X Fire is certainly going to go down. Already gotten 2 more kills in last game. That's a good headbutt from Indigo. Oh, I'm sorry, from Rin is going to pull him into the tower, but he's almost dead. He's going to die as well. Bunny of Lep is here. Seal's in big trouble, but gets hit by the headshot. Passive proc. In the end, that is a 3 for 2. And a gigantic mess in the mid lane as everybody roams up.
Oh my goodness. We had such a slow early game for the first 6 minutes and everything just unpacked. Both bot lanes roaming the whole way up. Big benefactor though. Bunny of Love grabbing 2 kills. He is really feeling good after that engagement. Rin was able to keep that fight going long enough for him to pick up both of those. And bot lane for Imperial gonna feel good now. Rest of the map not doing the best. Azure did take a death there. However, still ahead of Trajan. Not in the farm department, though. We gotta say, Trajan doing quite well in the CS department, regardless of how many deaths he does take on.
Very true. Very good points here. And Shen only being down 15 CS is not the end of the road. There's the taunt interaction once again. Indigo moving forward. Trajan gets the ult off onto Phoenix Fire. It's a beautiful wind wall. It blocks all the damage coming out of Azure X Fire. Trajan wants to get in. Rin coming in with the headbutt pulverize. May have just saved his team. The stun comes down. Azure X Fire wants to do more damage. There comes the Q. Gets the knock up on the Alistair. Ultimate is not available. Has already used it. Seals. Does get the stun. Actual Bird in trouble now. Needs one more auto attack. Does get the stun. Here it comes. Not able to follow up as Actual Bird is able to get under the turret, but it is nice to see Seals showing some attention to this top side that is a little bit rough for the Shen early on, as the Stand United is already down, so he can't be moving elsewhere on the map.
Things to note, as Actual Bird has crested the level 6 a little bit ago, did go for the cleanse in this matchup, so valuing that against all the CC on the enemy team. Gonna be roaming around on foot rather than teleporting anywhere. That champion's very quick, but the instant move of the Shen is another gank in mid.
Yeah, no, Phoenix Fire has just decided that Trajan doesn't get to play the game. He is still out farming Seals as well, so this is just very difficult for Seals to be able to do anything. Is stealing away the buff, and he knows Azure X Fire has no mana. Misses the second half of the W, that's big, but the ultimate comes down, and Azure X Fire does use this commencing stopwatch. Not going to be enough. Seals will get that last auto attack and get some revenge for his mid laner. There's some good poke coming down onto Rin, but here comes Phoenix Fire. He wants to go in. Cleo taking a lot of damage. King Kaiser going to eat the ultimate, though. Shot in the, or ace in the hole, not going to connect. There's the Q from Caitlyn. It's going to get rooted. Not quite under the tower. That could have been their doom. Everybody's still alive in the bot lane, survives the gank.
Absolutely. Things don't go too far there, but Kanto Challengers putting up a lot more of a fight this time. Now only down a little bit of gold.
Is ready. Here comes Seals. What are they doing? Rin is backing out. There's not enough health. Bunny of Love stuck in the pit. Is going to have to use that 90 caliber net to get over. Does do so. Phoenix Fire taking a lot of damage. Here comes the Pop Blossom, but not going to land on anything. And Rin re-engages with the headbutt pulverize. Shen'el comes down over the top, but he's not going to be able to get into this fight as Cleo backs away. And now priority is going to be taken. That's a nice use of the Spirit's Refuge from Indigo to block the headshot damage. Is stepping forward here. And the Dragon is going to go over to Kanto. So really nice use there. Phoenix Fire in trouble now. Wants to do some damage. King Kaisa going to walk away. Maybe in trouble now. Does have his flash if he needs it. Trajan here to defend. It looks like they are going to be able to get the Dragon and walk themselves out. They lose a lot on the top half of the map for it, as both the Ahri and the Quinn were able to farm strongly and get tower plates during that time.
Absolutely. Ahri pushing the back end of that fight will mean Trajan has to go over and get that. But as you say, Actual Bird on the top side. A ton of farm just died to that tower. 2 plates going over to the Quinn. And now we'll have to see if Actual Bird is able to convert that to the rest of the map. Because, unlike, well, I shouldn't say unlike last game, but his mid laner isn't quite as fed as last time. Getting a nice taunt there. Nope, just not going to be too much as the Quinn backflips away. Has a bunch of gold to go spend at the shop and will do so very gladly. Seal's in the mid lane, but there's a lot of members of Imperial around.
We'll have to see what happens here. Rin has been moving up. Shen is now able to move forward aggressively. No flash available for the taunt. Doesn't have kill range just yet, but he is keeping Actual Bird away. There's the taunt. Does manage to land it. That's really nice. Is going to use the Spirit's Refuge, but did not get the empowered Q. Actual Bird forced to run away. And we're now at the point in this matchup. Shen has the steel caps. There's the ultimate coming out, but Phoenix Fire once again is here as he needs to be. That's a good dodge away from the taunt. Trajan taking a lot of damage. The ultimate again flashes forward, but not able to get the ultimate down onto the Ahri. And it looks like this is going to be a kill going over. Phoenix Fire is going to die in response, though. Seal's doing a lot of damage. There's the thing available. There's the stun. Seals gets the double kill using the Arctic Assault. Still had the flash available. Didn't even have to use it. And meanwhile, on the bot side, there's some plates going down. So Seal has been much more active this game. 4-1-2 on this tank Sejuani. And the game is looking so much closer. In fact, a gold lead right now for Kanto at this stage in the game, where last game it was, what, 5,000 gold in the enemy's favor?
Yeah, something around there. Looking a lot better.
Oh, this is so good from Indigo. Well done. Pulls him back into the minion wave. Gets him to take a lot of damage. Taunt is available. The bounce back has already been used. Quinn is going to be able to walk himself away, it looks like.
Does have to keep in mind that that enemy top laner does have the cleanse available. That doesn't need to get baited in by that one there.
Oh, this is a great bait. Oh, this is a great bait. Seals goes in with the Arctic Assault, the immediate taunt, the CC lock. The cleanse comes out. Is it too late? Seals has the flash, uses the W, is pulling forward. There's the flash forward from Indigo for the finish. Actual Bird going to go down to the top side. That's a great gank setup by the two of them. The pink ward in the bush, baiting them in, and then able to clean up the kill. Indigo, 2-1-2, looking much better in this game. Trajan going to get charmed in the mid lane, meanwhile. Takes a lot of damage trying to get out from Azure X Fire. Doesn't have the wind wall. Dashes to the minion wave, is going to be able to get himself to safety. That mobility from the Yasuo is huge. Kane still getting close. Doesn't quite have his form yet. I'm sorry, does have his form. Has the rock.
Just got it.
Just got it. And is probably going to be looking... We'll see what he wants to do here. Raptors are available. No, he goes for the red buff. He's going to meet Seals there, and the rotations may be available. Stand United is available from the Shen. That's a lot of damage on a Bunny of Love, but the snare not going to quite land from Nico. Sejuani doesn't know that the red buff is actually just bypassing the red buff and going immediately for it. There's the flash forward from Rin. There's the gank from the mid laner, but King Kaisa has the heal. He's going to get charmed. There's the Pop Blossom, but his ADC goes down first. Indigo gets the ultimate down, but it's onto the wrong target. Does not have the taunt any longer and may be in trouble. Rin going for the stun. Indigo going to take a lot of damage. Cleo's able to turn the damage back around, though. Indigo backing out. And it is going to be a 1-for-1 as the Stand United comes through from the top laner. Meanwhile, Phoenix Fire is going to run into Seals over at the Rift Herald. A lot of damage coming down. Ultimate force to be used, but Trajan is here. There's nobody to follow up. Quinn is trying to come as soon as she can, but is it going to be soon enough? Phoenix Fire able to get out over the wall. That's an ultimate. Actual Bird not going to get stunned. Here comes Indigo with the teleport, but doesn't land the taunt. Actual Bird is going to be coming in and poking, but it looks like Rift Herald's going to go over.
They might fight after.
Here comes Phoenix Fire. Everybody is here. Azure X Fire is rolled up once again. Phoenix doing a lot of damage. Trajan taking a ton, goes down the Ignite as well. Seals does manage to get a kill in response. May die, but no, Vigar is here. The cage comes out and Azure X Fire is going to fall. Bunny of Love is here as well, but with no mana. Has double buffs, is going to be healing up. Indigo sure to go down here. Is Actual Bird going to clean that one up, get himself a shutdown, and the Q Piltover Peacemaker from Caitlyn cleans up the double kill. That was a mess, but a 4-for-2 for Imperial and almost an ace that probably leads to Dragon Control.
Oh my goodness, these fights, they just come out of nowhere. All 5 members from both teams rotating towards that one. In the end, Imperial Ignis gonna come out on top. They do lose out on the Rift Herald. Trajan, the one to pick that up, so keep your eyes on the Yasuo and where he goes on the map. But Cloud Drake is available for the taking. Imperial not going to get it off this. Their bot lane is recalling, however, which means Kanto challengers will have priority on that. Mountain or Ocean Souls are our options here, and I don't think Imperial are really in a spot to contest this.
Well, yeah, Actual Bird is not there, has no teleport. There's no way for him to get there. Indigo wants to chase down this kill, knowing that there's no mana. The bounce comes through. The vault is already used. Indigo needs to get in taunt range, isn't quite there. He's going to be able to get a couple of auto attacks down. but really not a whole lot else. Actual Bird is unfortunately really not at the point any longer where he's going to be able to abuse this Shen super hard. The auto attacks, he's going to need a lot of poke in order to take this tanky Shen down. Trajan moving forward in the wave. Here comes Seals, does have the ultimate available. Ren goes in, it's used onto the Caitlyn. There's a shutdown available, and Trajan lands the knockup. That means Caitlyn's gonna go down. A shutdown over to the Yasuo is huge. Ren using the ultimate, but it's not enough. Meanwhile, Imperial or Phoenix Fire is shown up, but is just to die as he gets knocked up by the Yasuo. Trajan gets himself a double or a triple kill in that fight. Triple kill, is able to clean up the turret as well. That is a huge swing for Kanto. Meanwhile, Indigo pounding away on the top turret. Kanto have themselves a 1,000 gold lead.
Yeah, that's Trajan right there, cutting that power spike in half. 0-10 no longer. He hit the 0-5 mark and he grabbed a triple kill. So looking like he's gonna accelerate to that first item a lot quicker. Speaking of first items, it's just about to come through for everyone. Mage item's gonna be the last ones to come through on the bottom side, as well as Shen, detouring a little bit for those plated steel caps, so he's going to get to his soon. And this game is just so unbelievably scrappy. It's going back and forth. There's not too many objective wins for either side. Rift Herald was dropped bot lane to aid in those tower taking. That's pretty much why Kanto have been able to even up the gold. Imperial grabbed 2 outer towers before that, so that Rift Herald's just going to be used to answer back. Gold's only 1,000 apart, and I gotta imagine we're going to have a couple more fights like that because we are a lot closer than last time.
Yeah, it's really nice to see from Kanto them able to recover so nicely from such a rough game. There we go. Imperial Bird, Actual Bird. Wow, I just called him Imperial Bird. Rin is now roamed up to the top side. Sejuani is in the area, and they think they know it, so they are going to back away instead of engaging with the Alistar. They are trying to get Vision Perpetual. We are only 17 and a half minutes in, so we will be having the second Rift Herald spawning relatively shortly, but no Baron. I'm sorry, the second Rift Herald has already gone down.
Yeah, both Heralds were already taken. So we're looking at about 2.5 minutes before any big neutral shows up. We'll have to see if the teams find anything to fight over. If we're going to go into another lull state, haven't really talked a lot about the Rust that kind of came through because he was actually more impactful before the transformation. Hasn't found too much as the evolved form. Looking towards his first item but unable to grab it yet. That mythic can be so important, especially when you're going into a bunch of melee champions. I imagine it's a Gore Drinker unless all of those are components to one item. I don't think they are.
Gore Drinker, and then he has the early armor that I would imagine is Death Dance, maybe?
See how the build goes.
Dead Man's maybe as well, but there's not a whole lot of AD. Trajan's going to run into Actual Bird here, has the Q available, is going to get knocked up by Phoenix Fire. He's all alone here. That's a good ultimate, though. He's going to try to get himself out using oh my goodness, the E into the flash away from Bunnies of Love. There's 5 people there. Now is the Shen ultimate to follow up. Trajan goes brazenly into all 5 members of Imperial, gets out alive. Now, now there's the taunt. So much damage coming down. There's the ultimate. Jurex Fire is in big trouble. Indigo flashes forward, and with the Ignite, the Ignite was popped from Jurex Fire, but the kill does go over. There is a pick. So Trajan not only manages to get out alive, but somehow manages to get the other mid laner killed in the process. King Kaisa doing a lot of work here. Has the Luden's Echo completed, and the ultimate did so much of Jurex Fire's health.
Absolutely, but honestly, when I'm looking at this game, the ultimate might not be the most important key on. Oh, the flash forward!
That's so good. They managed to get Actual Bird. He's trying to use his ultimate, not able to. There's the taunt immediately coming through. Doesn't get the Q pull through on Actual Bird. Doesn't matter. Indigo going to pick himself up another kill, and the headbutt pulverized combo missed in the mid lane means Cleo is able to get out with the heal coming through from King Kaisa. So much more proactive has Kanto been this game, and it is such a joy to see. It has made a huge difference on the scoreboard, and it has made this game very close. Now they may be in trouble. Phoenix Fire chasing down. That's a beautiful cage coming through. Phoenix Fire can't move any closer to try to get that knock-up, and it just means more damage. Means that the mid lane is going to be safe.
Yep, they're going to be able to back up and protect that one. My eyes are going to be on King Kaisa for a little while now, and especially his cages. They interact so well against the enemy team. You can see Gale Force, wrong item, coming through for Trajan after he picked up those kills in the bot lane. Feeling great. Gonna get charmed up, though.
Oh, he's taking a lot of damage. Actual Bird is here. He uses the wind wall fairly effectively. Almost manages to make a play with it, but in the end is going to get shut down by that Quinn. Now, meanwhile, Kanto is over on the Dragon. Is there a steal available? Kane is around. He does not have a level here. He's down one. In fact, Seal's trying to keep him from getting in. They go in, and Kane manages to steal it anyway. Is going to give his life for it. No! Able to use the ultimate to get away from the Primordial Burst and flash away. Indigo very tanky in the front lines here. Phoenix Fire going in. This is not a great use. The Pop Blossom comes out and lands onto 2. That's so much damage. They kill off Actual Bird. Indigo gets another taunt off before he dies and gets a killing spree. Azure X Fire has been exhausted. Cleo in the front lines goes down. King Kai'Sa is still alive. Where is the event horizon? Is it off cooldown? No, the charm lands. That's beautiful. They can do so much damage, but the flash away is good. Bunny of Love chasing down, takes a lot of damage from the Vigar. Seals is still up, doesn't have the flash, but Arctic Assault is available. And that was before V5 because Trajan had died, but Phoenix Fire able to steal away the first Mountain Dragon means delaying Soul, which is so important. Soul Point could have potentially been a game ender for Kanto here.
Absolutely, and they really don't want to give any more defensive stats over to the enemy team right now. You can see a lot of the gold if you pan across, just looking at the kills and assists, are on those more tanky members. As Trajan looks for Azure Fire here. Not going to land the tornado, though.
Yeah, if he lands the knockup, maybe. He's going back in. He gets the knockup that time. There's the ultimate. Sejuani here to follow up, and Azure X Fire going to go down. Jungler's been paying far more attention to the mid laners this game, and it's meant 6 deaths for each of them. But now, with the kill going down, they are moving their way towards Baron. Phoenix Fire just stole an objective. Is he going to be able to do it again? Cleo trying to run distraction in the front here. See if he can keep them away. Rin taking a lot of damage. They do take this fairly quickly with the Yasuo Sejuani passive plus the Vigar. Quinn is moving her way up. They know this is happening now. Baron down to 1500 HP. Is going to get smited away a little bit late, but did get it in the end. And now Baron goes over to Kanto. That's a lot of damage. King Kai'Sa taking a lot of damage. Is going to get poked out. Here goes the Pop Blossom. They're going to land it on the Quinn. Quinn is immediately going to get blown up with the Primordial Burst. Indigo comes through with the Shen ultimate over the top. Bunny of Love able to dodge away from that Shen. Trajan wants to get on top of her, is going to get slowed. There's the stun. Flash away from Bunny is very nice. Now she's in the backline, pumping out damage safely. Seal's taking a lot. Rin with the ultimate on is still tanky, and Phoenix Fire in the backline is able to finish off the Vigar. That's a lot of damage. Uses the ultimate. Indigo trying to 1v2, meanwhile, is going to get shut down eventually as Azure X Fire finishes off that kill. It is a mess in the mid lane, but it ends up being 3 kills for Kanto. Beautiful flash away from Azure X Fire. Does keep her safe. And boy, has it been messy. It ends up being a 3 for 2, and Baron is still on the side of Kanto. They are going to have to back away now and try to heal up a little bit before the next fight happens, and they can use their Baron effectively, I assume. But with these two teams, one really never can tell what they're going to fight over.
Absolutely. The fights seem to break out very quickly and not over, the most important things sometimes. This Trajan might get run down here.
Yeah, that's a good use of the wind wall, though. Gets another Q. He has the knockup available. Where's the ultimate? He's going to get ulted. Can clean take the passive. Yes, you will take the bullet. He was trying to use the W passive to take it, but it wasn't able to come out in time. And that is going to be Trajan and Cleo both surviving, although they get taken to very low HP by this 5-1 Bunny, who is a real threat on the Caitlyn at the moment.
Yeah, Bunny, you saw as once she got out onto the edge of the fight right there, the Caitlyn pumped out so much damage, almost took down this extraordinarily fed Sejuani. Wasn't able to get the kill in the end, but you can see Caitlyn's starting to get towards a bit of item spike. Going for the collector second is a little bit interesting. I mean, the lethality definitely does not feel great this game. Just pumping a bunch of damage into Shen and Sejuani. Like to see a bit of armor penetration come out there because no one else on the team can really deal with it. Quinn's going to have a lot more of that lethality burst in her kit by normal. Both AD carries, though, are going for the Kraken Slayer. So paying some attention to the fact that they have a big, beefy front line to get through.
Indeed. Dragon spawning in about 55 seconds. Trajan going to face check and is going to eat a whole bunch of damage. Stun locked the entire time. Never had the chance to get out the wind wall, and that is so unfortunate for Kanto. They're going to have to back away from this dragon. The Shen ultimate not able to come through in time either, even though it is available. So now they have Actual Bird split pushing on the opposite side of the map, though. This is still a 4v4. Run comes out. Cage isn't going to land. Seal's going to eat a trap, but it wasn't actually Seal's. It was the Cleo defending it. Azure X Fire going to go over the wall with the ultimate. has burned it already, so there is no Ari ult for this fight. Indigo walking down is here. We can see Actual Bird roaming down from the top side as well. They've got a Jurek Fire. That's a double taunt. Is going to take the... Oh, that's a good flash away. Phoenix Fire dragging him into the rest of the team. But there's so much damage coming out. Cleo down to less than half. Trajan has respawned. Indigo burned Flash in that fight. He wants to base and be able to ult back in with a full health bar. The trap line is really nice from Bunny of Love. Barely walks away from the trap. That is so close. If the cage lands, they may be in trouble. Seal still has the ultimate. Wants to go over. Dragon has been started. This is very dangerous. Azure X-Fire is sitting in the side. They want to go for the Seals. Has moved forward. Here comes Trajan. Has the knockup. Immediately going to get charmed as Azure X-Fire was waiting in the bush. But the steal on the Dragon comes through. And now Indigo is in the middle of the team with a gigantic taunt. Azure X-Fire got one, but he's stuck on the outside trying to do damage. Indigo cutting down the Alistar very slowly. Seals is so tanky in the front line. His Actual Bird is killing himself on the Thornmail. Now Azure X-Fire in trouble. Is going to get the Pop Blossom. Does use the stopwatch to dodge away. Cleo misses everything. Azure X-Fire could get this. Where's the Q? Actual Bird in big trouble. Now Seals is actually going to get the kill. Does he survive? Oh my god, the Triumph heal is huge. Seals comes out alive with Indigo, but Cleo does die to Azure X-Fire on the other side. The Dragon Steel is the key takeaway from that fight, though. Seals able to secure the smite. And now with a 4K gold lead and Baron spawning in a minute and a half, the advantage is with Kanto.
Oh my goodness, this is the game we were trying to hype up in the beginning of this series. Kanto making us worry a little bit in game 1, but they are firing back here in game 2. Seals, what a bounce back from feeling like he had nothing to do to feeling like he has been part of everything. 22 out of 25 kill participation for this jungler. Sejuani might be the pick, but I honestly just want to give the credit to the junglers because they have been the highlight. Each game, the one on Sejuani has been the highlight, at least.
True. No, this is a Seals carry game for sure. It feels like it's been everywhere. Just the two junglers very, very strong. Are going to get the roots down. There comes the cupcake traps. Trajan going to use the Gale Force. He gets the knockup, but they didn't have vision and wasn't able to do anything there. Indigo wants to kill Actual Bird. Is going to get the taunt. There's the pull through. So much damage being blocked. Actual Bird is in trouble. There's the vault. Indigo chasing forward. He's going to be nearsighted. Actual Bird is slowly killing himself on the Thornmail. There's another taunt. Doesn't get the pull through, but I think Indigo can get this. Doesn't have flash. If he has flash, that's a kill, but he doesn't either, and both are able to walk away with barely any HP. Here it comes. There's the ultimate over the top, and Azure X-Fire goes down instantly. Trajan is here with the tornado, but it's a good flash from Bunny of Love to get him out of range. That's a quick pick, and with the Quinn being forced back, it may mean they can take the Baron, which just spawned. Indigo is going to base, has Stand United and Teleport available if he needs to get to this fight. Trajan's going to start it, has the Bloodthirster completed. So much lifesteal coming out, and with the Sejuani here, it's going to be very hard for Imperial to walk in. They're trying to do so. They're taking Raptors on the other side of the map. They have no idea this is going on, it would appear. Down to 4,000 HP. Burst could come through. 1,100 is going to be smited. Baron is secured. Now do they look for the fight? Seems as though they do not. Headed towards the mid lane. Next dragon doesn't spawn for 2 minutes. This is a good time for Kanto to be able to push their lead forward and get some turrets in the mid lane.
Absolutely. If they can break into the base, even just the towers, they don't have to grab the inhibitors if it's a bit of an overextension. They really want to break the base and really start make Imperial questioning how far they can walk away from their structures. Cage comes out, but they're not going to walk up and take it.
Going on the other side, the taunt comes through from Indigo, which is nice. There's a ton of damage from Phoenix Fire. They're doing so much damage. That's a nice use of the stopwatch from King Kaisa. Isn't going to go down and immediately pops the cage, but Rin able to get down. A nice Pop Blossom goes in the middle of the fight. Seals is in the middle. Bunny of Love is so low. Trajan goes down. This is really bad. 2 kills. Only the tanks left alive. Rin is still so tanky in the front lines, and Seal goes down as well. Indigo needs to be able to get himself out. Very, very tanky on the Shen, but the charm is good from Azure X-Fire. That was a clean ace for Imperial. Out of nowhere, they pull a brilliant team fight. Baron is gone. Now they can push themselves down the mid lane and maybe get tower for themselves.
Oh my goodness, what an amazing flank coming out from Azure and Phoenix Fire, coming over that Raptor pit and getting the fight started off. When Kanto were able to back up, I thought it might swing back around, but it was the fact that Bunny of Love and Actual Bird were under no pressure. They free hit that entire fight. You can see the power of these double Kraken Slayers just mauling through the front line that Kanto is now starting to fall off on. You know, hitting those 3 item spikes on the tanks, they're not, you know, they're not feeling as strong. They really need the damage to start coming out of Trajan and King Kaiser at this point in the game. There's a bit of a trap. They have a pink ward set as bait, and I feel like someone's gonna fall for this. Hopefully it's not Trajan. It looks like it's gonna be
Seals is
Seals.
here. He's going to see it. Oh, he actually
Oh,
missed the charm. That's really important. Arctic Assault able to get him out to safety as well. They've committed a ton onto the tank. And now here comes Indigo with a double taunt on the side. Trajan's around the backside. This could be disaster for Imperial. The root's going to come through onto Bunny of Love, but he blows up the Nico before she can do anything. Flash forward from Indigo going to secure that kill. Now, Bryn going low, ticking down. Indigo still in the front line, gets the shutdown. There's another kill. Seals is still here. So is the Vigard, doing so much damage in the front line. Actual Bird uses the cleanse on nothing, is going to get shut down. It is a 4 for 2, and Kanto swings it back the other way. Their reward will be Mountain Soul.
Oh my goodness, the charm going wide from Azure Fire can't break down Seals in an instant, and unfortunately it leads to a massive downswing. Indigo with a fantastic flash taunt, just going to mark the Ahri and make sure they get nowhere near this pit. Mountain Soul on top of these massive tanks. And honestly, it might be even a little bit more important for the carries. Yasuo now with an additional shield on top of his Bloodthirst is going to be very hard to burst out. Oh, we're just swinging back and forth, back and forth. I have to imagine we're going to at least another Baron here, Rhino.
Yeah, this one, it's been so good. The gold lead almost doesn't matter at this point. I feel like it's the Mountain Soul difference, and then whichever carries are untouched during the team fights, that is the team that's going to take the next one. We do see it is nice having the double AD carry comp, but with the Sanguine Blade completed early for Actual Bird, they are moving towards more traditional ADC items. You can see the Armor Pen from Lord Dom's coming out, as well as the Kraken Slayer. But in these team fights, that Sanguine Blade loses a lot of its effectiveness. Although we do see the CS difference is just absolutely huge on the top side. Actual Bird has been able to flame Horizon the Shen, but Shen gets a lot of utility out of his ultimate. Now they're trying to collapse onto this Quinn. Do they know where she is? She's trying to get on top of her Bird. There goes Indigo trying to get on, not going to be able to, as Actual Bird is indeed an Actual Bird and flies away.
Yeah, I'm gonna be able to swing out of harm's way there. Do see something's just not going in favor in the itemization department here. We're still sitting, by the way, on no mythic on Kayn. Went for the completed death stance before finishing either Gore Drinker or Sterix. I believe those are the... He's got so many parts! He's got so many pieces to an
he's jammed
item.
a lot of cooldown reduction into it, right? The Call for Warhammer. I have no idea why he hasn't completed the Gore Drinker yet.
Maybe he
that
thinks
is
he
your power
has
spike.
it. I've done that, you know.
That's true.
We're all human. We make mistakes. I'm curious if he actually thinks he bought it at some point.
At some point, you'd be looking for that active and wondering why it's not doing. Why
Well,
it's
the
not
Iron
doing
Whip has.
anything.
Yeah, the Iron Whip has. I don't know. We're not real sure there. But the other point too is the fact that we're pretty much only doing team fights. The side lanes have not been seeing a lot of action. We do have a Sanguine Blade on the Quinn, which isn't getting a ton of value right now. Went for the rapid fire on the Caitlyn. No crit anywhere. Oh no, the Kraken has a bit of crit. Excuse me.
Kraken has crit. Lord Dom's has crit, and I believe rapid fire has crit.
Why did I think that was Gale Force? No, that's not possible. Gale Force and Kraken can't exist together. Okay.
No, they can't. Yeah, no. Basically all ADC items have crit now. Now
True.
we see with Baron spawning in 20 seconds, the move forward, trying to get Vision down. Imperial moves in to clear it all out. Does get there is a pink ward now down. Indigo moving forward. We'll just have to see what happens here. Bunny steps forward.
That's a good bit of damage for two
Yeah,
autos.
Phoenix Fire going to take a huge chunk from Trajan. Seal's going to get rooted up, take some damage. It's not too bad. The cage has gone down. We see Azure Fire moving back. Actual Bird continuing to push. The ultimate comes out of Seals and misses. The flash forward from Seals. The charm does land, but Azure Fire may be in trouble. Is going to get stunned up by the cage. That's a nice stopwatch. Is it enough for the rest of the team? Come through? No. Blown up the instant that stasis is over. Seals moving forward onto Bunny of Love now. Using the 90 caliber net. Flash forward from Trajan isn't going to land. And now here comes the move forward from Kanto. The tanks in the front line so much beef available. Warmog's completed for the Sejuani, means she's going to heal all that damage right back up. Actual Bird wanting to do something on the side, not able to really do much into Indigo at this point. And now Baron being started. Trajan takes this very quickly. They've already started it 4 versus 5. Azure X-Fire does not respond from the 25 seconds. Kane wanting to sneak around the backside. Nobody there to stop him. He is going to go for the steal. He is 2 levels down. This would be the Smite of the Century. 1200 HP. He gets in. He gets the steal. He immediately ults out. Here comes the Pot Blossom. Hits nobody. Bunny of Love just needs to get out now. He's doing so much damage in the front line. Cleo goes down. Sorry, does not go down. Goes into the stasis and is going to go down as Phoenix Fire gets the kill. The ultimate comes out of the Shen, is going to keep Trajan alive for the moment, but Bunny of Love is untouched on the backside. Trajan needs to get in, doesn't get the stun. The actual Bird able to use the cleanse and get out of the taunt. Indigo flashing over the wall. Bin is the only one in the back line. Seals is tanky, but he's not tanky enough. And somehow Imperial have turned this fight a 4v5. They steal the Baron away. King Kaiser managed to get a kill, but he's down. He does get the kill onto the Quinn, but it doesn't matter. That's 2 members left with Baron. It's a 5 for 3, all said and done. And now Imperial's pushing down the mid lane. Death timers, well, 10 seconds left on the Nika, maybe enough to keep them from getting more than just the inhibitor.
I believe the only thing that's going to go down is inhibitor. The Nika will be up for it to go down, but 10 seconds on Trajan means that they're not going to be able to push past that. Indigo and Seal's not too far behind those two, so right now they need to get out. They've gotten what they came for. Bunny of Love, crucially, still has Baron buff, and that could be really, really big as they set up here, because while Imperial have been finding their way back in with creative teamfight angles and creative flanks, that is not the case for Kanto. Kanto have a very straightforward team fight, and if they can't walk in because of the Baron buff, because of the pressure of the mid lane, they're gonna have to find some way to answer this Elder Drake that's spawning in 10 seconds. I don't know if they're just going to be able to walk in. Looks like they're setting up a trap, but I don't like it.
They've done that before. Seals does take a chunk, but again, has Warmogs, is going to be able to heal that up. Elder is now spawned. It is 5 people on the bot side for Imperial. Shen taking a base, has the Stand United ready. They gets the teleport out, moving to the bot side. They're moving forward, trying to get something off. That's a good stun. They're going to pop the jungler immediately. That is so huge for the side of Kanto. Phoenix Fire just getting a little bit too close. No jungler means steal is next to impossible. Now they have started the Elder Dragon. What can Imperial do? It's down to 8,000 HP, 7,000 HP. We got to watch. Can Rin get in? Actual Bird trying to do something on the side is just poking around with the form. Trajan trying to do stuff. The Sejuani cult doesn't come out. It misses. The taunt comes through, and the bounce off means the Actual Bird actually is going to get hit by the taunt and die. So that is 2 picks, and the Elder Dragon going over to Kanto. Why are you basing right now? Oh, I guess they have to go match the, they have to catch the super minions that base. They need to find fights. They need to be able to push. Indigo grabbing this wave is really smart. I like this out of him. And once again, we are swinging on a nice edge. The gold lead, again, almost insignificant, but Mountain Soul plus Elder in favor of Kanto. Can this be the end of the game that they need?
Oh my goodness, they're looking for it, but they just can't find it. None of their waves are in position. Top wave was too far away, and Bunny of Love still has that Baron buff, so it would have been hard to push in. The Baron has faded now, Elder has not. Right now, Kanto have to be favored, but every time a team feels like they have the wind behind their sails, it gets knocked out beneath them.
Every single time. Ren is going to be side laning. Has Stand United still available? He needs to be pushing these waves strongly. I'm not really sure. They're not looking to force fights. They're not really putting pressure on objectives. They're just using this as a chance to invade. Bunny of Love is going to get caught out instantly. Immediately uses the cleanse. That's really smart. Gets away from Trajan. Seals is still so tanky in the front line. And now Trajan trying to get on top of that ADC. He gets it with the shutdown on the Elder buff. Phoenix Fire gets caught up by the cage, able to get out. That is a huge pick. A shutdown onto the ADC. Can they do enough? Indigo just trying to clear this turret. That is so smart from him. Really like to see it. Taking a lot of damage. Will be able to heal back up, thanks to the Spirit Visage that he has in his inventory. But mid lane is not the lane you want to be pushing. You just shoved out bot. Rotate to the bot lane, please, Kanto. You're not going to be able to shove against super minions right now. They do not have a ton of time left on the Elder Dragon buff Baron in 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Oh my goodness, they're hard forcing this mid here, but I agree with you. They need to get to their side lanes where it's going to be easier to push, especially bot lane. Azure X-Fire does have the ultimate to get himself if he gets caught there, but needs to
Glacial
be
Prison
very,
is
very
almost
careful.
up. Watch for
10
Seals to
seconds
use
on
that
Caitlyn.
ultimate. Seals wants to use this. He just came up. Trajan do the Gale Force doing some damage on Actual Bird. They managed to break the first inhibitor tower. Now they're moving on to the inhibitor. They do get it. Charm lands. Indigo going to take a lot of damage because the shield from the passive, and he will be able to walk out Baron in a minute. They're now rotating to the bot lane. This rotation I really like. Indigo may be in trouble. There comes the stun. Lands onto the Alistar's going to take half of his health with just the QW combo from King Kaisa. We haven't talked about this Vygar in a while. Let me see if I can find his AP count. They're all stacking in the bush now, which makes it somewhat difficult.
I can grab it for you. AP count. Oh god, I just lost it. AP count is currently
827. They're stacking in a bush, but there's nothing to take. There's no reason for them to walk in here. Seals goes in with the visual prison. Azure Fire is caught. That is a beautiful pick. There was no reason for him to be there, but somehow the pick works out anyway. Now Baron spawning in 20 seconds means that there will be a fast track available for Kanto. Maybe this is what they need to finally break open the game. Mid inhibitor is down, so super minions are meeting in the mid lane. Red inhib respawns soon, which means the pressure will eventually go in their direction. Trajan is now in a 1v4. What are you doing this far up? He's almost certainly going to get picked. Here comes Phoenix Fire. He flashes away. He gets the Shen ult on top. It's not going to be enough. The GA comes down. Shen is here. There's the stun from the Vygar cage. This is nice. Rin goes in, and the Yasuo is going to get shut down. Seals is in trouble now. Is going to get bursted as well. Indigo goes in, trying to get on top of the Caitlyn, but misses the flash taunt. Here comes Cleo. Actual Bird going to get stunned up and killed. This is big. Now Phoenix Fire alone taking a ton of damage. Bunny of Love trying to secure his escape. It's a 2-for-2, but the jungler is down, which means Baron is very difficult to take for the side of Kanto.
Absolutely. Phoenix Fire surviving that fight is a saving grace. Bunny caught out, but the Nico doesn't do a ton of damage, but Bunny sure does.
There's the taunt from Indigo. Great flank, and they're going to get the pick off. Cleo was the bait. Indigo was the trap. They close the door. King Kaisa finishes the kill. Now do they move towards Baron? Having the ADC down for 50 more seconds is very important. Sejuani's up in 22. They probably can't start the Baron, but you can start getting vision control around it. Cleo is going to base. We have another Elder spawning in a minute and a half as well. You do not want to desync these timers, ideally. You would like to pick up the Baron and be able to roll into Elder with the two best buffs in the game and it all. Now, Indigo is in this bush. They know he's here. Azure X Fire, they're thinking about going for a pick. Indigo has no idea this is happening. He's going to back away. He's a very tanky boy right now. Boy, this is tense.
This is so tense. Either team can take this win from under the rug right now. Everything is up in the air, and we're just waiting for it to crash down right now.
Oh, Actual Bird is in trouble. The
flash
burst with half his health. He has no flash and no cleanse, and that means the Quinn is going to get shut down. They're pushing for the mid here. Now Chen is teleporting to the bot lane. They're trying to get this inhibitor down. Meanwhile, Bunny is there to try to stop Indigo, who's forced to taunt away. They are going to be able to get the inhib as the Baron goes down. It is taken. Rin is here. I'm not really sure what he's hoping to do. He's trying to stop bases. They're trying to end the game with a backdoor, but they're not going to be able to get it. The base is completed by Nico. Rin's going to give his life for the cost, and they're going to be able to base, so they weren't able to finish that. Baron buff goes over. Bunny of Love is back alive, but they had to sacrifice their top and their mid.
Get out of here.
Yes, they do. 20 seconds left on the Elder Dragon, and you know that is the target right now. They are able to steal away the blue buff here. I don't like Trajan being on the top half of the map with Elder spawning in 30 seconds, but he is there anyway. Sorry, Elder spawning in 5 seconds now. Are they going to run into each other? This is so tense. The vision control is poor from both teams. Super Minions meeting in the mid lane. Trajan is split pushing in the top side, is going to try to get damage down. Quinn is going to come and meet him. Bunny of Love over by the Elder. Elder has spawned that continues to go on. They have not started it yet. Trajan is fighting Actual Bird under the turret, is going to complete the turret kill with that Bloodthirster. Has so much survivability. Bunny of Love picking himself up the red buff. Azure X Fire once again sitting in this bush. Once King Kaisa,
I don't know
but
who can
Banshee's
assassinate.
The Banshee's Veil is so big, and he doesn't know who the Nico is. He can kill the Nico for sure, but there's no question they pull it out towards where they have vision control. Bunny of Love moving up. Cleo wants to get in. King Kaisa doing so much damage. Cage is down.
Okay.
The Elder Dragon is at 45 seconds. They get a shutdown onto the Nico. That's a big pick. It's now a 4v5. Here it comes. They wanted to be able to get the steal. And this dude looks like Haven of all people. King Kaisa's in big trouble. Primary Bro says half, but he has to go into Zanya's and he's going to die. There's a flash. Xerax fire. And the Elder Dragon steal may decide this game. Trajan, in the meantime, trying to do something to actual Bird. He's
gonna go down to Elder!
He gets the ultimate. He gets burned down by Elder. That's 3 members gone. They're pushing down the mid lane. Only the tanks live for Kanto, but the waves are in a terrible spot. There's so much death time, though. 30 seconds on, at the very least, 30 seconds on the Nico, 40 seconds on the Vigar. I'm losing my voice. This is unbelievable. After the stomp we witnessed the first game, to have such a close one at 45 minutes is everything I wanted out of this series.
This is what we were hoping for right now. This back and forth action has been insane. Going to buff up the minions, make it harder for Imperial to push in. They have one wave behind them, but the minions are fairly dead. If they can somehow get in here and clear these out, Eco Clone gonna make a little bit of a ruckus here. Oh, the game is so tense.
My game just paused.
My game froze.
Oh no.
You're joking.
I have no idea what's going on.
What?
I can't see what's is it live? Can we see what's happening live?
No, it froze on screen. It froze on stream. Oh no!
I can't watch the end of this. We're stuck at 46 minutes.
You're joking.
And we have I don't think we're going to be able to watch the end of this.
No. Oh my. I mean, 10 seconds on Vigar. It could flip. I don't know.
I don't know either. This is the most bizarre sequence of events that I have ever been a part of in ZGG. I don't even want to speculate on what happens here. There's really nothing we can say.
I don't have
anyone. We have 46 minutes and it just ends.
I have no one added. I don't on like League client. I don't know if they're out of game or how to message. We need an adult.
Somebody help, please.
Okay, we're gonna get production behind. Okay, Rin says they're out of game. I don't know how to resolve this without. Oh my goodness. Okay, chat has said Rin and Bunny are saying that they have won. Well, Bunny just said GG. Oh my goodness, they managed to end the game here. Holy moly. What an absolute cliffhanger. I guess we just have to force exit the client. We don't get to see the climactic end. That's speechless.
So disappointing. There's nothing to say. In the end, Imperial does take it on this push. They're able to use the Elder Dragon to clear out the waves and end the game. So Imperial does take the 2-0 victory over Kanto. But that second game was the likes of something I have never seen before. We had 2 Elder Dragons, 3 Barons, and it all came down to a couple of really clutch picks coming out all over the place from all sorts of different players.
What a night and day game one. What bizarre circumstance. How many times can you say that you had a team that got Elder, 1 Elder, 2, if not, I think 2 Barons, 1 Elder, had Earth Soul. The enemy jungler never had a mythic. Non-mythic win coming out, 46 minutes for Phoenix Fire. Absolutely unheard of. This game I will remember for quite some time.
That sure was something.
Oh my goodness.
Just really, it was so full of, this entire series was so full of individual performances.
No way did that just happen.
I'm still pissed that we don't get to watch the end of it. What?
That's just unfair. It's unfair to us. It's unfair to the viewers. It's unfair to the teams that this isn't on display.
True.
Because what a game it was. I wish this was a 3-game series because a 2-0 And if you just look at like game one screenshot, you think Kanto rolled over and died, but they
Yeah,
had
no.
so many good fights this game. It was so close. Oh my goodness. I I I don't know how to wrap up. I don't know
There
if
aren't
we can
words.
wrap up.
There aren't words. I have nothing. Just shout outs to there were a lot of really good plays. I think Phoenix Fire in game one and Seals in game two, both junglers had a game on
Absolutely.
Sejuani where they just completely controlled how their team played, and it was such a joy to watch. I think Azurex Fire played not only super well in the first game, but also the second game with the key picks that allowed his team to get man advantages late game. That was so important for them, not only claiming objectives but being able to finish. The Bunny of Love was
Yes.
awesome in that second game, stealing the second or third Elder that literally won his team the game.
Yes.
Uh,
I think Bunny of
gigantic,
Love
gigantic play.
was the most consistent member across both games.
Well, and what I would also say is that King Kaisa, on the other hand, the other bot lane player, was also really good both games. It wasn't entirely his fault that his Ezreal was 0-1 and 0 the first game. There was really nothing he could do, but he consistently had a CS advantage. He laned really well. He was farming super well. Um,
Yeah.
just
What a clapback from Indigo too, like so many
yeah,
storylines.
true. Thank God these two
Oh
teams
my.
play each other again. That's all I can
We get
say.
to see
Thank
this
goodness.
again.
Yes,
And then
hopefully
maybe a
this.
third time in playoffs. Who knows? It's great. I do like the double round robin
Yeah.
format. We have smaller groups technically because we only have 6 teams per group, but getting to see them evolve and play each other 2, possibly even 3 times is so exciting for me. What a cliffhanger. It will not be resolved in my heart until these teams meet again.
Agreed. Hey, that's a pretty good way to end, Django.
We
You're
go.
look at you showing off your linguistic capabilities. So, in the end, Imperial does take a 2-0 that does not belie how not close game 1 was and how super close game 2 was. But Imperial does take 2-0 on the series. They will take the win, and we look forward to casting these two teams another time. I apologize that we were not able to finish the game. It would have been something we wanted to do, but sometimes circumstances are out of our control. Thank you, Riot, small indie company. Anyway, by the way, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. We will see you next week.